What's up, fighters? Sam Battlefield here. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey into the ecological dynamics approach and the constraints-led approach. I went to a seminar, hence this photo here with Mr. John Danaher, and you got the privilege of meeting the guy on the right, me. But yeah, I've been to a previous seminar of John's, and it was great. Lots of cool sort of info, and like last time, I had a whole range of questions that I was asking him and everything, but I was a bit more subdued in when he was asking questions. The first seminar that I went to with him, he asked a particular question, and I thought I knew the answer, so I threw it out there, and I was the only one that sort of said anything, and it was the wrong answer. So I kind of kept quiet after that to a degree. I asked the questions that I wanted to ask, but this time around, being that I've been approaching this with the ecological dynamics viewpoint, but in saying that, one of the things that has influenced me greatly in going down this path has been Mr. Danaher. Why is that? Well, there's a story he talks. I'm not sure if it was online or if it was at the seminars, not this seminar just gone, but online or at the seminars. He spoke about how Gary Tolman would just put himself into the position that he sucked at. In the particular case we were talking about, rear naked choke, someone will put it in deep, and he'd just work until he was so confident in it that he was able to escape. And someone asked about, so we're in the kind of the Q&A session in this seminar. Now, last year I asked a question because the seminar was on the same day, I think it was, that Gordon Ryan got his $1 million flow grappling deal, and so I asked a couple of questions about the sort of the future of the sport and that sort of thing, and when I sat down with him to get the photos and everything, he said that you asked some very good questions today. And I was like, oh, thank you very much at the time, and I felt really fucking good, even though I put my put a crappy answer out. He still gave me props for asking a whole heap of other questions, and this time was no different. I'd asked a couple of questions, and one of them was, being that you spoke about your athletes putting themselves in positions and just working through that over and over again, and how you see that with the ecological dynamics approach. And he mentioned, so gave a really reasoned answer. Again, probably the longest answer out of all the questions, and they were pretty good questions that were asked. But I think mine was the best, other than maybe Aaron's, which was a bit more targeted to the actual techniques. So technique-wise, Aaron wins the day, and strategy-wise, I think I got quite a bit out of it. It was quite interesting how he sees how Greg Souders is approaching things. I think there still is this thing of you're just letting them learn, and that's as far as you're just letting them learn by their own devices, and I just don't think that I don't think he understands that you're not just letting them learn to their own devices, like getting to the getting to it by themselves and that's it. Like, it's not that, it's just a better approach of getting the so the way he responded to me, he essentially said something along the lines of, we've got thousands of years of of people who have been perfecting this. Why would you start again and throw it all out? And I didn't push back on that, because I wasn't there to have a debate. I was there to get his viewpoint on it, and it was interesting that he saw it in that respect. Like, he was showing, he has the knowledge to impart, and there's kind of only one way to impart that knowledge. I think that's where the entire the entire sort of the industry, if you will, is not really understanding what's going on. We're not talking about just letting them go. It's like we're designing, and it was so interesting how because I asked a question after a person was talking about what he needed to give skill to improve his students, and like when they should be sparring and all that kind of thing, which was cool. But he started talking about skill acquisition, and that's how I segued into this. And I just think, the idea that all the ecological dynamics approach will... Oh, that's right. He was like, I with the sparring, I'll constrain. So I'm sure he knows about the constraints-led approach. I just don't understand why he thinks that like, if you understand the theory behind it and the reasoning because of that theory, like the evidence from that theory, how you come to the conclusion that that all you're doing is getting the people to learn for themselves. I was at a bit of a loss there. As I said, I wasn't there to argue or sort of go, that's not what it is, because that would be the height of hubris for me to do. But it was interesting. I do enjoy John's seminars. He was a lot more personable than you'd think. There's less discussion, more doing, which is cool. Again, it's like, I just think my brain now goes to, hey, that's a really cool piece of detail. How can I implement that? How can I get someone to have that as an emergent behaviour using a game? So yeah, it's just, and that was where my kind of head went. And then Aaron's like, he was taking some serious notes, and I was taking notes for a bit, and then I realised, like, I'm not really going to use this, and I'm not, like, I'll definitely use some of the stuff that I'd learnt, but I wonder if I'm learning from that method, or if I've turned off from learning from it, or I'm just picking it up in a different way now. Because as I said, I'm no longer looking at it, like technique. So when he was talking about Sumi Gaeshi, yeah, maybe, I don't know. I think I'm definitely at the bottom of the Dunning-Kruger effect now. Like, I know enough about it that I realise I'm heading down real quick in skill level, so in competency. But that's fine. A couple of other things have gone on in life, but yeah, I'll probably leave it at that. Hopefully you got something out of it. John was not disparaging of the ecological dynamics approach. He just said he thought it was missing still the element of, in his sort of words, direct communication. In that, although he did give props to the efficacy of the constraint-led approach, not in as many terms, but in that he spoke about it being a big part of what they do at I think, is it New Wave? Yeah, New Wave. Anyway, wherever Danaher is. Anyway, this is Sam Battlefields. Let me know if you've got any questions. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Peace.